at 9:25 on BBC One.
This is BBC One and Kilroy.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. You're constantly on the phone to each other. Can't bear to be apart. Your love is so great that you know you'll be together for the rest of your life. Ha ha ha. I'm not talking about the man or woman of your dreams. Oh no. I'm talking about your twin. That's how you two are, isn't it? Do you love being together, being the same, dressing the same, looking alike?
Yes, yes, we do, yes.
Why?
We just have that bond of feeling. I think I could say maybe closer than our partners in some way.
Closer to each other than you are to?
Yeah.
Why?
I could say no to him, but I can't say no to her.
I beg your pardon. When you say no to him? Do you really? You're not supposed to say no to your Lord and Master. On what kind of occasions do you say no? We got her now, haven't we? Oh, she's not going to answer that, look. We know, don't we? Why do you dress alike?
We have the same taste in clothes. We don't.
Well, obviously. Clothes? Why are your tights different colours?
That's what's different about us.
Oh, I know that. Oh, you realise that too. I mean, your jewellery's the same, isn't it?
No. We're married to different husbands.
Oh, I see. But why are the tights different then?
Because she chose them from home, and that's what I had at home, I think. But we don't deliberately go out to buy the same clothes. I mean, there's many times we go out shopping together, and if we like something, we'll buy it, despite it's the same colour or the same dress. Sometimes she might go for a different colour to mine, but it's just, we enjoy it. We don't deliberately go out to fool people or to make heads turn, but if we're happy with it and we don't mind it.
But you say you're closer to Seb than you are to your husband.
I love my husband dearly, and he's obviously an individual. Closeness, I would say a different closeness. I mean, I could...
No, you said you would never say no to her, but you say no to your husband?
If she asked me if I was busy or working, and she said, can you pick my daughter up from school, and I had to go to work, and I go to work with my son, I would say, OK, I couldn't say no. But if my younger sister asked me, I'd say, well, you know I'm working, Emma, and I can't have all the kids in the shop with me. I got to admit to that, I do.
And you do the same too?
Yeah, she does.
How close are you, apart from that? How
Feelings.
We are.
So
we think the same, we cook the same meal.
Not meaning.
We cook the same meal the same day, not knowing. Only after we've spoken on the phone in the evening. I say, what did you cook today?
Spaghetti bolognese.
And I cook the same.
I want to go back. When you said that you don't ever say no to her, that, you know, a little bit on the side, she overrides your husband.
I still don't say...
If you had a situation, who would come first?
Whoever was right, I suppose. But I mean, we've never been in that situation where she's said something that I felt she's out of order or... You know,
no, she didn't say that. Who's going to come first?
No, who's going to come first? Overriding who would be pick the post? Would it be your husband or the closest?
She wants picking up from... Who would you pick up from school?
If you came to a situation, you know, where you had to make a choice. I'm not saying a drastic choice, but...
I think I would find... Yeah, I would say...
But that's wrong.
She didn't even let her finish. She was going to say her husband. No, she wasn't going to say it.
No, I wasn't going to say it. I could honestly say I have never been in that position. And
You've got to pick them both up from work.
I'd make him wait a little bit longer.
You're separate now. You don't have to. You're separate.
I know
you're both
I am,
married, but your priority should be your house, your husband, your family.
Up to an extent, it is. But I
Why
mean,
an extent? It should be fully your side.
No, because if like Robert said, if I had to keep my sister waiting or my husband, I would put her as priority because she's a woman and I know how she'll feel if she was out on her own. Whereas a man, he can stand it. I mean,
so you might go back and have a row with your husband.
It's your husband.
Well, I'm sorry.
Can I just ask you, do you not want to say no to your sister because are you scared of having an argument or falling out with each other? Have you ever had an argument?
Never. 36 years, we've never had an argument.
Could you have one now?
No.
Could you try?
I don't try. No, I have to, do we? No.
Is it the conditioning that you had when you were brought up?
No. No.
You know, you're together, you have to be together.
No,
so
because
therefore,
we had a choice. I mean, up to an age, OK, you could say I didn't have a choice. My mum put us in the same clothes, treated us the same, we were one person. But after that, I mean, look, we're married, we've got different... I mean, I got married 2 years before she got married. She's got her own family unit, I've got my own family unit. It's just the bond that we have. Well, you know, you can't...
We've got that bond. We were brought up exactly the same. We were dressed absolutely identical. I mean, to a point, weren't we? We have the same taste, but it doesn't mean that we want to dress exactly the same on the same day.
But that's what you want to do. You're happy with that.
I can't understand why two people, it doesn't matter if they're close, if they're twins or not, if they're married, two people... People argue with each other.
Yeah, but we're quite happy dressing alike. We
Are
don't bother us at all.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you?
As old as we are, we don't bother. She dresses herself.
What, pardon, Mary?
She dresses herself.
She dresses herself.
Have you
but you
both...
see, they can't understand, these two identical twins can't understand you two, but you two now wanting to dress alike. Be the same.
Don't you want to be your own person?
Well, we are our own person.
But you're not. When people look at you on the street, they go,
that's beside the point.
Yeah. The first thing they say is, look at those twins.
But you're still an individual.
And not look at that
still a twin,
You know you're an individual, and I respect that you are individual. But people on the outside onlookers you will say, do not know that you're individual. One unit, they look the same, because that's what people think.
But we're not.
But why do you dress the same?
You want to be that.
We like it. We enjoy doing it.
Well, we want people
we've always dressed alike.
What? You've
always, yes, from being like you,
But
we were dressed alike as babies.
Yeah. You got the same different shoes on.
Different shoes, baby.
Couldn't you see past your knees, you two?
No.
Eh?
We didn't have the same shoes.
You always have the same.
No, we don't have the same shoes.
I know you don't have
Mary
the same
likes
shoes.
a higher heel, and I'm a bit dumpyish, isn't it, Mary?
Don't you hate all this, though? Don't you hate...
Why have you got different earrings?
Because they're both hers.
Why have you got different watches? Is that because you got different
couldn't
husbands?
find hers. We have the same watch.
Oh, do you really?
Mary couldn't find hers.
Do you go shopping together?
No. Only clothes shopping. Yeah, we do
So
go
when you
clothes
go
shopping.
clothes shopping, you go together and you buy the same clothes?
No, not necessarily, no.
So
if we like the same thing, when we did, we got these for our 50th.
So do you chose that?
We did. Yeah, we did.
Specifically, when you go out somewhere, do you specifically say we're going to look alike today?
Oh, no.
Or...
No, and we'll wear the same clothes. We'll have the same outfits on. Mary will pick me up.
We've got the same husband?
We'll have the No, I don't have that.
No, she said. In all seriousness, she said no.
Have you got a wardrobe? If you've got a wardrobe that's got the same clothes in, the chances are you are going to have the same clothes on. That's not because of anything else. It's just because you have blue trousers and white shoes.
No, with many wardrobes, and we do not have all alike.
Don't you want to be a person as opposed to...
I am a person.
Yeah, but when people look at you, they acknowledge
I am
that
a
you're
person.
a person in your own individual right.
It doesn't matter, I am my individual right. That is me. I have my choice.
Because when I accidentally put the same clothes on, which we've got the same taste in some things.
Yeah, but why change it then?
Yeah, but no, I don't purposely go out not.
Yeah,
if we purposely go out not, we don't go out and say we're not going to look the same.
They try not to be like twins.
Exactly what we're like.
If we do go out and we sometimes we'll end up with the same outfit on.
Yeah. But
you know, I don't go home and get changed. No, but I wouldn't purposely go out and do it. I couldn't come on to...
Today we had a choice whether we wanted to come looking the same or not, and we chose to come out because we're proud of what we're like. So it doesn't mean because we're the same, we're both going to get treated the same. She's an individual, I'm an individual. When I start to...
If you're going to dress exactly the same... I mean, Gemma and I sort of have the same style, but we don't purposely dress alike.
That's exactly what we're like.
But you're identical. Look at you, same kind of...
No,
you are. That's what you mean. That's sisters.
We don't.
I know they're your sisters. This way you should know these two are sisters to these two. And they're both twins. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It must be in the genes. It must be in the genes. It must be. And you've got what?
I've got twin daughters.
And this one's got twin daughters.
They're not identical.
But they're not identical.
And I'm glad.
Yeah, I'd be glad.
But you are the same. Look at you, you've both got your hair pulled back.
Yeah, but
you've both got the same
tops on. But then all our friends
on.
dress the same
You've both
this
got
as well.
Look at, I bet you both. Yeah, look. And then, do you know what? Listen to it. Look at this. Look. Right? It's the boots. Women don't you? She's got boots on, and the other one's got boots on. But guess what? They're both laced up to the same point. Look at them. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. 5. You've got it messed up. You've only got 3 holes down. You don't want to be.
We don't like phone each other up and decide to wear the same clothes. Like all our friends, we all have the same style anyway. So we're all going to wear like little tops and like combat trousers. So it's not that we're twins.
But they are very similar to little tops.
Oh, yeah, well they're patterned, yeah. But it wasn't. It's not like.
That's the style of young people today.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. We don't.
But you don't like being the same.
Well, we don't mind. It's just that no matter. Like I said, no matter how hard we try, we're always going to end up... Yeah,
you always answer for her.
No, I don't.
Like Sez always answers for Seb, and those two shout over each other all the time.
I don't answer.
No, she doesn't.
She does. She always answers to you, doesn't she?
No, she doesn't.
It's just because I'm closest. I'm sitting here.
No, you're more aggressive. You're more the firstborn. Were you the firstborn?
Yes,
you were the firstborn. Were you the firstborn? You were the firstborn. I got it right. You could tell, and you were. All the ones with the big mouths are the firstborn. But you, look at them all. She's firstborn. We'll see firstborn. You're firstborn at the back there with firstborn on. Another one, Matt. Yes, Matt.
The firstborn is always quieter than the
yes,
second born.
What? Firstborn's what?
The firstborn is quieter than the second.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, it doesn't show on Alex. Anyway, listen, I've got to get these 2 girls off because we're going to make them over. Because you want to be different as possible, don't you?
Yeah, because we always end up
look beautiful as you are now. You really look beautiful, but you don't like being like each other. That's the point. Nothing wrong with you, you just don't want to be the same. Yeah. Right, we're going to send you off to Michael John to have your hair done, and to Liberty's to get your clothes. And they better do a good job on you two. And I don't know how they're going to improve you, but they're going to make you different. Off you go. Go on then, girls. They're talking about the... You clearly don't believe there's a special bond between twins, do you?
Nothing more than any brother or sister can share. It's how, me personally, my idea is, it's how you're brought up. It's the situation that brings you together. You could mean Claire and I, we were dressed alike, we did everything the same, we were in the netball team, we did everything.
Do they look alike? Are you identical twins?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah, go on.
When we got, we did everything, didn't we? We used to walk down the street holding hands, we did the typical twin things,
Oh, you do it in line?
Yeah, we used to. Really sad. But then, when I was 11...
Could you do it for us now? Because that must have been really weird. It must have looked weird, like a Boy Scout. Well, would you like to try it?
No, thank you.
Can you do left foot together?
Well, we've never been...
You never got that far?
No, we never noticed. We never went out deliberately to do things together the same because we were twins.
Yeah, but it's not a case of deliberate. It was... Me and Claire brought up...
You're saying it was the way your mum brought you up. Identical, dressed the same, walked the same...
Same shoes,
together,
same clothes, same ribbon, everything.
But after an age, you chose not to because obviously you wanted, or you felt you never had your own identity.
No. When I was 11, I actually moved out and went to live with my mum. My mum and dad split off the year before, and I remember walking. I went 3 days before I was due to start secondary school, and I walked into that secondary school and I was Kathy Brewster. I wasn't Kathy Claire, I wasn't Claire Kathy, I wasn't Twinny. I was Kathy Brewster, and I walked in there and I thought, this is wicked. Do you know what I mean? And there were twins, there was actually identical twins in the class that they put me in. And I was like, yeah, ha. You know what I mean? Because I was me, all of a sudden, I was me, and I had never known. It was a sudden urge I wanted not to have that. It was just a case of, I was put in that situation. I mean, it was a new area as well, so I was thrown in the deep end, didn't know anybody. And they went, this is Kathy Brewster, she's just moved to the area. And I was like, oh, where's Claire? Do you know what I mean? I'd always had. We were always like, Kathy Claire, we were always put in the situation.
But how nice is that? Because that's the same for me. I went from, well, I went from a junior school that we've both been together into a senior school, separate senior school.
Different area as well.
Yeah, people did for the first, you know, oh, I bet you miss Kathy. And
we were like,
no. I didn't suddenly think I'm not going to function.
No, it's not a case of not missing.
No,
I missed her like I missed the rest of my brothers and sisters, but
I don't miss
no
her
more.
anymore. But I also felt that for once in my life, I was me. And there's no word of a lie, but until I reached 11, I didn't even know my name was Claire.
No,
because my Christmas card said Kathy Claire, my Christmas presents were Kathy Claire. Everything was together and nothing ever in our lives.
Ours wasn't twins.
We even shared the same
always.
We always had the same.
What do you mean? Hang on. When you say we want to know that bit.
We didn't, mate. We even had to share the same bit.
You seen Kenrick, haven't you?
Everything, yeah. And the bath. Man, I didn't have a bath. Kathy and Claire could have a bath.
But it was everything.
But it wasn't to save water. It's because we were the twins. That's just it.
Well,
yeah,
it was because we were twins.
I feel that's how you felt. But although we're twins, we were called by our names in the house. When we had baths, we had separate baths.
What do you mean called by your name? One says and the other says. Well, how could you even tell? I have difficulty saying Seven says.
Yeah, but if it was Susan and Shirley, you still mix up who's Shirley and Susan, Robert.
Yeah, why be Shirley and Susan? Why not
It's not
Joan
the name,
and
because we look alike is what you're mixing up, not because of our name.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
the thing is, it's okay saying that you're an individual.
You can't get a word in with these two, can you? You can't get a word in.
We both live, I would say, 6 minutes away from each other. She runs her own business, I run my own business. Like you were saying, when you went to school, different schools, you found your identity. We've always had our own identity, but it's lovely to share that bond that we've got together, and I think we've got something special that, you know, every other just identical twins maybe feels, or maybe you don't feel the bond we feel, but I just feel we're lucky.
Bond. You have a special bond. These don't have a special
Well, I
bond.
was going to say to you two that you've really never
Shut up.
had... Well, other than that... Good job,
You are lovely. Listen, when you just rab it on like that, it makes life easy for me, and it was lovely. And I didn't try to start you talking. I just bemused the way you just babbled on. It was lovely. Sorry, when you were going to not tell them to shut up.
Well, yes, and I was trying to get a word in edgeways here. You've never really had the opportunity to put separation to the test, have you? Other than you say you went to different schools.
But no, we live 250 miles apart from each other now. We haven't spoken sometimes for like a year.
You've had a considerable period of time
Together,
didn't you? What, 11 years? So you never ever really put it to the test, because a tremendous bond had been built up within that 11 years by very virtue of the fact that you were living together under the same roof, like it or not. Now, with Maggie and me, we were separated when we were 6 months old, and we didn't meet up again for 55 years. Now then, during that period of time, and Maggie will back me up on this.
She better.
She's got no choice. She's sitting next to me. But we had a definite feeling of something missing. Yeah. Maggie especially, because Maggie told me that you had an imaginary friend, didn't you?
Yeah. We all did.
When you grew up then, Maggie?
I used to play games with a little girl in the garden, tea parties, and it was a little...
Hang on, Seb, she's gone.
And it was always a little girl, and I used to lay a place for her at the table.
When you were growing up, was it just you in your family?
Yeah, I was very lonely.
When you were growing up? It was just you?
You didn't know you got a twin?
No, I had no idea. I didn't know until wasn't told till I was 13.
But it's all what you did. You were very lonely. You used to lay a place. Is that what a child does who's alone?
An only child.
An only child. That's an only child does that, doesn't it?
Not just because you were a twin.
Or a middle child.
Yeah. Isn't it?
I felt there was something missing, that there should have been something else there. Yeah. And I couldn't understand why I was so lonely.
And do you think that when you found that explains all? That there was something between, some mystical kind of bond?
Yes, I do.
How far
I
apart?
do.
Something was missing.
And I mean...
Because you've been together for 6 months.
You know.
And you know what's going on by 6 months. And then if suddenly you lose that twin, then you're really going to feel that something is missing.
Yes, I mean...
6 months.
Oh, you bonded in the world. You bonded in the world.
There is a bond of 6 months. Look, they might come from one egg.
Hang on.
There's 2 people. They're separate. You know, the umbilical cord's gone snip, snip, snip. There's one, there's 2. There's no bond in there.
They're aware that the other one is around. Just
what, 6 months?
Yes, at 6 months. Just like his mum, you know,
there
each other's mum.
No, there isn't. There ain't a bond.
Well, is there or not, you two? Come on, sort it out.
No, it can't carry on, you know, 55...
Well, you meet an awful lot of twins who've lost a twin, who are all very conscious that there was something missing.
But it isn't. It's just
they're
the
making
way
it up.
society
It's
makes
in the
us.
mind.
You know, it's like saying, you're a little girl, right? You play with a toy. You're a little boy. You play with, like, a certain toy as well. Twins, from the minute they're born, it follows down from generation to generation. Here you are, 2 little girls, same little ribbon, same little dress. When they go out, it's like, oh, hi, there's the twins. Oh, there's a present for the twins, not there's James and there's Sally.
They should be treated as
You mean they're indoctrinated?
Yes,
Indoctrinated.
That is what happens.
Because that's what people think they've got to do.
This special
bond.
You know, and it's not she's fell and broke her arm. Oh gosh, she must have broke her arm this morning, because I can see it isn't. I'm a mum. If something is wrong with one of my children, my daughter almost died a couple of weeks back, and I knew something was wrong. And it was, I got because she came from me, but you know, just because they come from me.
Now you've contradicted yourself, you silly moo, haven't you now? You have, because you said she's come from you, you've got this bond, you know instinctively. They've come from each other too.
Yeah, but they've been separated at birth. I've been separated from my
daughter.
Well,
you were separated at birth from your child.
Yeah, but you
cut that umbilical cord, you just don't it all yourself.
You're not telepathic, you can't feel everything that they feel, but everyone says someone's just walked over my brain.
You can feel it.
Get a feeling.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Anita. If you can feel it as a mum, then they can feel... Of course, we're supposed to be saying mums are special, aren't we? Mums have this special feeling. Mum and dads do too, you know. What about the partners of these twins? It must be a nightmare.
Well, once you've distinguished one from the other after a few drinks...
after a few drinks?
Well, so you recognise one from the other, it's pretty much the same,
It didn't take you that long to do it?
No, when I first met Dawn, they had hair similar length, so it was... Well, I remember the first night, it was really hard to distinguish one from the other. And apart from the family feud's been a bit more violent than normal.
A bit more violent? Why is that? Do they row?
Severe, let's say severe.
You have your rows?
Yeah.
What do they row about?
Silly
I'm asking you, because they won't tell me the truth. Anything?
A cup of dog food, because they've both got dogs. They're both dog lovers.
Cup of dog food?
Yeah.
Did you say a cup of dog food?
Well,
a sack of dog food. A cup of dog? You said a cup.
Shared out the dog's food in cupfuls.
Yeah.
So when they're looking after one of those dogs, one has to bring the dog food round for the other.
Yeah.
So, you know, they'll argue about silly little tiny things
whether they've bought enough dog food.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, one's mean, is there? Which one's mean?
Well,
that one.
They can be very generous with one another, or on the other hand, the next minute they're arguing over the silly things like that.
What? Move on. Don't come that way. I'm going to sit between you two. Why is she mean, then?
I'm only joking.
No, you're not joking. No.
The only thing she
we're not going to let her off the hook. Oh, she wants to share the wine? No. So she's mean about the dog food, she's mean about the wine.
She keeps it by her side.
Really?
And if she goes out the room, she says, "You've had some of my wine, haven't you?"
Really?
What is she like?
I was going to say...
She always shares everything else.
We'll usually have a party and one of them will get a bottle of wine, and the next day they're that drunk they can't find the bottle of wine and they're fighting for the next week after who's had the bottle of wine. And they don't know where they've put it.
Don't sit there looking at me. You say something.
Well, if we don't see each other for a week or two, we're like...
But why are you fighting all the time? They've got a special bond, those two. What's your special bond then?
They never stop fighting.
You're Welsh, aren't you?
Aye, something like that.
Welsh, and with a sense of humour. Oh, you're not though, are you? You're from Liverpool, aren't you?
No.
Oh, you're not?
Same place.
Oh, you're Welsh too?
Yeah, we're
all right.
hillbillies.
Oh, that's why you bicker then, probably.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
We're Welsh from the hills.
Yeah. What else do they row about?
Oh, they like to phone each other up for an argument.
Really?
That's right, yeah.
What?
I don't know, I just think that they need to speak to one another, so...
Each other. We do miss each other, don't we?
How far apart are you?
A couple of miles.
Yeah, but okay.
We see each other regular, phone each other a couple of times a day.
Yeah.
But my brother always used to say, one should live in Land's End, the other one should live in John O'Groats.
So it was that bad, obviously.
No, not really.
Well, it must have been if your brother said one should live in Land's End and one O'Groats. He's putting this big... Oh, yeah, but you don't make a joke like that without a reason for it, do you?
No, they like a fight, see.
They do really don't.
We miss each other, though, if we don't see each other, don't we?
Yeah.
But the fights aren't... all right, they're bickering. They're rowing. They like a fight. You're saying that.
But then
we're being quite serious now.
They've got the same
but
sense
they are
of humour.
actually...
They've got the same sense of humour. And, like I said, they're either getting on like a house on fire or fighting like that. I mean, it can be... If somebody didn't know them, it would be quite shocked.
Give me an example.
Well, just...
Swear
they'd
and
always,
shout at each other.
behind closed door, you know, they wouldn't do it in the street or anything, but in the kitchen or something, in the kitchen or something, there'd be nothing for a plate to go over, you know. And I've come in and there's like spaghetti bolognese on the ceiling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They have been known to kick each other's doors in and knock each other's teeth out with frying pans.
Oh, come on. Hang on. You're not, are you?
Yeah.
Go.
I just wonder whether they've both got partners, whether the fact, was it different before you had partners? I mean, I'm talking about obviously younger, when you never had boyfriends or whatever.
No.
Has it changed since you've had partners, or has it always been the way you're describing now?
No, we do get on. We're either
partners
best of friends or we have a fall.
And when we fall out, we never fall out
You see, the
for
both
long.
of us are dead strong-minded, so we won't back down, will we?
We don't fall out for long. We have a silly little argument, and we shout and scream at each other, and then we're friends again, and we have a good life,
Like it
don't
can
we?
change within the hour, you know.
We're so close.
As though they've... I'll come over there. Come on, my love. You're obviously very bemused by all this. Sorry, move up for me a bit this way so you can... Yeah,
I wanted two questions. One is, do they bring you into it as partners? Do you get involved in the rows, and is that difficult for you?
Well, at first, Dawn used to say, well, you're not on my side, you're not on my side, but I try not to get involved because Anthea will forgive Dawn 10 minutes later. She might not forgive me the same, so I just don't get involved.
You have to keep out of it, really.
It's like that's like a husband and wife. It is, you know, the twins are like a husband and wife. He's saying keep out, because they'll be all lovey-dovey afterwards. He's like the kid.
Yes, it's safer for you not to get too involved.
No, it's a domestic.
Can I ask something else?
Yeah, of course you can.
I wanted to know how you came to choose the twin you chose. I've always wondered when people marry an identical twin.
He tossed a coin, didn't
Do you see a difference in their characters and nature?
Very much so now, yeah.
Which is the nicer one?
Well, I wouldn't like to say.
It's a brilliant question, now, isn't it? When I asked him, did you see his face? he died, he thought...
He always says that he'd like us both, but I don't think he could cope with us both.
Well, before Richie came along, I nearly did.
I think he's got big ideas for the station, really. We joke to them, we say, we've always shared everything, including our man. They look quite nervous.
I don't mind, do you?
No,
he likes the idea.
Before you came along, hear what he said? Somebody said something about before you came along.
I never said no.
What was your next question?
Do you two get on really well now? Because you're probably going to be spending more time together.
Yeah.
So what are your relations like?
They get together.
We usually, at the end of the night, these two are usually drunk, snoring their heads off. Me and him are usually in the kitchen having a good bitch about them. And usually Dawn ends up walking in, listening to us what we're saying about them.
So these are the drunks, not the fellas.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll turn on them. If they say anything, if he says anything about her, I'll turn on him. Stick up for her. Vice versa, isn't it?
Oh, I think you should live at Land's End and John O'Groats, don't you? I mean, they seem to be coping with it. It's not always that easy, though, is it?
No, I mean, we're twins, we're not identical. But a lot of what's been said today, I think we can both identify with, despite not being identical. Because there's that invisible cord that I think that never gets broken. Whatever your life experiences, whatever happens whether you're separated, I think it's there. But for us, well, for me, I can't speak for her, but we were very, very close right up until we were 16. We did everything together. We were dressed alike. Despite not being identical, it was all the same. We were the twins. And it was a bit of a novelty, I suppose, because we are very different. So we was always classed as twins. And we did everything together, you know, brownies, choir, you know, swimming clubs, everything. We had no boyfriends or nothing. We just had each other to play with. We had very few friends because we had each other. And then at 16, Vanessa met a chap, and it was all hearts, flowers, love and roses, wasn't it? Well, it was. I mean, it was her real first big love affair. And neither of us had experienced that outside of our own love affair, if you like, as twins. And cut a long story short, she was so besotted by him that she decided she wanted to go and live with him and stay with him. And she had to go because my mother said she didn't want her to go, but Vanessa basically said, well, if you don't let me go, I'll never speak to you again. I want to be with him. And she went, and obviously I was upset. I think any brother or sister, you haven't got to be a twin, but if someone sort of suddenly leaves, it was quite sudden. And I thought, oh, she's gone. And I was quite upset after a couple of weeks because growing up, I don't know if other twins have had this experience, but we used to say, oh, when we're 18, we'll meet two fellas, you know. At 20, we'll get married, have a double white wedding in church, you know, we'll have 2 choirs, you know, only 1 organist, you know. And then at sort of 24, we'll have a child, and then perhaps a couple of years later, we'll have another child.
What went wrong?
We were really...
What went wrong?
I don't think anything went wrong. I think Vanessa made a choice, a life choice.
But the boyfriend,
didn't involve
Vanessa's boyfriend
me.
didn't like you, did he?
No. I think initially he didn't know me.
But when he did know
But when
you,
he got to know me, he decided he didn't like me. And
why didn't he like you?
I think there's 2 reasons. One was because I'm pretty good at sussing people out.
Why didn't he like you?
And the second reason, and I knew he wasn't right for her.
Why didn't
he like you? And the second reason was because...
I'm not going to like you in a minute!
No, but it's quite important. It's quite that first reason you're trying to kind of gloss over it.
I'm not glossing over it. I'm conscious of the time.
Yeah, okay. And the second reason was because I think, I mean, you know, you can only be blind not to notice that I'm brown-skinned and she's white-skinned. And I think he had a problem with the fact that her twin was this colour. And I realised that very early on. And that is why I wasn't jealous of Vanessa. I was really happy for her, but I was very concerned.
Between you?
Not at that point.
Not at that point, no. I mean, it's only when Vivian said to me, he's not right for you, you know, I just felt she was jealous. I thought, this is my choice, this is my husband, you know, I've married him, you know, yes, I've got a twin sister, but my life starts from there. I'm an individual person.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was aware that one of the reasons she was choosing him was because she was looking for a father figure that she'd never had. And he was 12 years her senior, and I was aware, despite being only 16, I was aware that she was choosing him. She was choosing him for the wrong reason.
If I knew then what I know now, well, then perhaps things would have been a lot different.
But the other part of that was the fact that, despite all that going on, what concerned me was, although we're not identical, it was like, after a couple of weeks, I really started to miss her because we'd done everything together, and it felt like part of my heart had gone with her. There was an emptiness there, and however much I couldn't fill it with anything. I went off to different things and that, you know, and I could never fill it again. And we've had some terrible arguments over the years.
Things at each other,
no, but we've had some horrendous arguments. But however bad we didn't speak for 4 years. And even now, I wished I could cut. I say it's an invisible cord. Because there's times when I wish we could cut it, because there's times when I don't want to be the twin. I just want to be friends. I'd rather we were friends than twins sometimes, because...
And you can't handle that?
Yeah, but we can't be...
Why?
I just feel, you know, we're twins from birth, and it doesn't matter what's gone on in our lives. You've got to forgive and forget, like these...
Yeah, but she won't forgive.
But you can't,
they've
Vanessa,
got physical with each other, and they forgive and forget. They've just got on with it.
Yeah, but...
you know...
But they like being twins now, but you don't...
Yeah, but well, I like being a twin. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have my...
But she doesn't...
Yeah, but because I've always been there for you. Whatever crisis you've been in, I've always been there for you.
What's your relationship like now? Now you're like...
It's not brilliant. Vanessa wants it to be very family and lovely. I'm married, Nessie's divorced.
Vanessa wants it to be all lovely, but you don't.
No, of course I want it to be lovely.
But why don't
I want to be friends with my twin.
But why aren't you?
But because we can't be friends.
Why?
That just shows that not all twins have got this special bond, because if you had the bond like
But there is a bond.
She would be feeling your hurt as much as you, and she'd probably agree, think, well, I'll listen to my sister, she knows me better than anybody else. It just goes to show that you don't all have this special, as you say, invisible cord. You're not identical. You've got your own heart, and she's got hers. She's actually gone with her heart and said, this is the life I want. I'm not going to roll my life around my twin.
Definitely. So we've still got a special bond between us. Even though we're still good mates.
Yeah.
We're still good mates.
Yeah, we're
just
more close than anybody else.
Yeah, but you are obviously together. But this is something more serious, isn't it?
This is, to be honest, and this will hurt Vanessa, it hurts me to say it even now, because I don't want it to be honest, but as God's my witness, if I had a choice of being Vanessa's friend or a twin, I wouldn't choose either.
That cuts into the quick. I
because of the experience.
I want things as they were. You see, I will forgive and forget quite easily, you know. But Vivian will hang on to that.
Yeah, because I haven't treated you in the way you've treated me over the years. You've treated me like dirt. You've called me racist names.
That's nothing to be
She's only
that's fine.
Everybody's out.
No, but it's got nothing to do. No, it's got nothing to do with that.
That's why I feel you're bitter, because
no, I'm not bitter.
You felt that you never liked her partner.
No,
she had to learn from
no, he didn't like me.
Okay, but then you're holding that against her then
no,
now.
I'm not holding it against her.
You are, because she made a choice. She felt she found the right man for her.
Yeah.
She had to move on.
I agree.
Things didn't work out. Why can't you accept that like she's accepted
I do accept it, but there's an awful lot that we haven't said, and we haven't got time to discuss it today. You've got one little chip at 16 years old. There's a lot. I'm 42 now.
She chose
Claire.
her partner over you.
I just think that if you put two people, it doesn't matter whether they were born from the same egg, in this womb at the same time, but if you put two people together, make them do everything alike, then you are going to feel something.
No.
It's natural. It's human nature. It is human nature that if you are put in close proximity with somebody over a long period of time, you are going to miss them when they're apart.
What are you saying? They clearly don't.
No, but she said that when she went, I missed her. But of course you're going to miss her. She's her best friend.
I miss what we had before, but, like, obviously I've moved on, she's moved on.
Yeah, and now you want to do what you want to do because you are you.
No, now she says she doesn't want her as a friend or a twin.
Yeah,
and Vanessa said that cut her to the quick.
You haven't got the choice. When you're a twin, you don't have a choice. She's your twin, you're supposed to be friends with her. And I'm saying that I don't have to be friends with her. I have to be a twin because it's a reality of life.
That's right.
But if she does things to me over the years that has absolutely broken my heart, then
because we're twins, even though I might have said nasty things to you and I've said sorry about it, right, you've got to accept my apology. I've accepted. Right, okay, look, let's start. You know, let's forgive and forget. There's a new millennium coming up. Yeah, but come on, enough is enough. You know, this has been going on for years and years and years.
That's what I said to you.
I said that to you, but that's the family either. I've got 4 children, 2 grandchildren, and it actually has tumbled down the line.
But if you were just
the row between you.
They're being affected by it.
You want to put it all behind you. You want to draw a line. You said you're sorry. Whatever you've done, you're sorry, and you want to move on.
It doesn't matter if you said the most vicious thing in the world. You know, she's my twin.
But I've never said anything vicious to her. I've always been kind. I have.
Well, what's the problem now then?
I'm frightened. I'm frightened that she'll hurt me again so much.
Yeah, but in any relationship, I've gone through relationships.
In my relationship,
and that's nearly killed me. And yet I've forgiven my exes. You know, and
I haven't had those experiences. I don't see why I have to be treated like dirt all the time to constantly keep saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, forgive me." I have forgiven.
Then how can you bring up children to teach them? Older people do, but wrong things in their life. But we've got to learn to forgive. I have a baby daughter. So if you can't forgive your own twin, your own flesh and blood,
I have a baby daughter.
How can you teach?
We had a conversation.
Children.
We had a conversation this morning.
People argue and make up.
We had a conversation this morning, and I said to Vanessa, you can see Jessica whenever you like. You know, you're her auntie, she is your niece. I'm not going to come between that relationship, and I don't want to.
It will make a difference.
If Vanessa ever says anything bad about me to my daughter, or she says something bad about my daughter, that is when the relationship will end. But I don't want her children and my children not to have a good, positive relationship.
Are you George's mixed race? Are they?
Of course they are.
Well, I don't know.
They are, because if I'm mixed race, they are mixed race.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what you're worried about that.
My daughter,
you're worried about
my daughter has
racist
white
comments
skin.
being made.
No, my daughter has a white skin and blue eyes, but she is mixed race.
Yeah,
Vanessa has hazel eyes and white skin. She is mixed race. She is not white, but she classes herself as white.
And I don't class my 4 children.
But look at her hair.
Yeah.
Look at her hair.
Don't discuss the hair.
Just because it's not black hair, isn't it? Oh, you know, you can't. No, because
you haven't had that done.
No, it's not.
But she wants.
I thought you'd had a perm.
No, you've got a perm gone wrong, have you?
Oh no, I wouldn't have known where you'd gone.
See, she's
right.
Be worse if it was black, wouldn't it?
She's ashamed. See, she's racist. She's ashamed to say that she's mixed race.
She doesn't like being your
She wants me to be white, Robert. She has said to me, I wish you was white because then it would have made it easier for me.
I'm not racist because what happens is when we were growing up, it was always questioned, how can you be sisters, let alone twins?
We're really supposed to be talking about twins. They keep telling me twins. They want to talk about twins because they're twins. And they're identical twins, and they feel a lot of sameness together because they dress alike, feel alike, do things together, and they think that's part of being a twin. And a lot of other people who are twins actually don't like that because they want to be, like Kathy and Claire here, individuals in their own right, taken for what they are. What about, though, the other members of the family? What is it like if you've got these twins who are all really close and lovey-dovey and wear the same clothes and affect to have this special bond? How does it affect you?
It's absolutely terrible. You're a very lonely child. You have your siblings, how they're playing. They talk to each other in a different language, which you don't understand. They look at each other, they like each other. If you want to join in, they just look at you and turn around. It's a very, very lonely for a child to have twins as sisters or brothers.
You felt lonely, you felt excluded? I felt
lonely, I felt excluded, and I felt very, very sad.
Our brother tried to sell us when we were born. Tried to sell us.
Your brother tried to sell you?
He was 4, and he was knocking on doors. He said that Mummy had had twins, and one was bad enough. But 2. And he didn't want us.
Why?
Because he was 4, and he thought one child was bad enough. He thought he was going to be the only child all his life.
So he had a hard time?
He had a terrible time until we were about 6. He really said that we were now, instead of babies, we were his sisters.
When they used to go to bed at lunchtime, and they were lying sweetly together and asleep, I do not know why I did it, right? But I used to go uncover their toes and bite them till they started crying. And then I was happy because they were crying and communicating with me. Yes.
Oh, they were communicating.
Yes.
Did you?
Well, just how to say, you know, the noise. They looked at me and they were screaming their heads off because I bit their toes.
What about now? What about now?
No, it was.
No, I don't mean you go and bite their toes now. I mean, do you have a relationship, good relationship with them?
No. And they didn't have, how to say, a good relationship with any of the other siblings which came after them.
Because they're
they
so
were
special.
So special and so content with each other.
Says?
They had no friends.
Can I say, we've got an older sister, and we have always had a problem with her. I think she's had a problem with us,
you, or you've
not us with her. As she was saying, when we were young, I mean, my mum would say, my mum would make 2 bottles of milk for us and lay us down. By the time she turned her back, she used to drink the milk, and we used to still be screaming, and my mum couldn't understand why. But that grew up. As she grew up, she always classed us as, you twins, you like your twins more than me. She felt outsided.
Hang on just one second. Can I just interrupt there? I don't know if anybody else saw that. Why didn't you say what you wanted to say then? Because you nudged her and said, go on, say it. Why didn't you say it? No, but why didn't you say it instead of your sister saying it?
Did she put her hands up?
She did. She said, no, go on, you say it. Why couldn't you say it? She does all the talking and not you don't. So why did you push her to say it instead of... Because you're so used to her making the decision.
No, it's not that. She makes her own decisions at home.
Why didn't she say it then about your older sister?
Even as children, I was always the quite shy one, and she was always the one...
Because you let her do it.
Yeah, but that's not...
You've got a brother and sister. You let them do it.
It's my own personality, that is.
I thought only I
Sorry, no.
Where does this thing notice these things and cause trouble?
Where they say that the first one born, or one of the... Oh, well, she's the bossy one, and this is the... Where do they get that from?
Because evidence, you see them. Wait a minute.
No, because one lets the other one get away with it.
Because one's more assertive. Because one's more dominant. It's like in a pack of dogs. There's a top dog. There's always a top... Do you see a pride of lionesses? There's a top lioness.
So you get one that stays ahead and one that stays... If the bossy twin keeps on being the bossy twin and the weaker one stays the weaker, it happens. At the end of the day, she's sitting there waiting, she's gone, go on, you say it.
They all do
Why
that.
doesn't she say it herself?
Listen.
Because they let each other.
Yeah, but you see that. You know what usually...
down and one stays
but you know what usually happens? It's usually husband and wife, right? And they're sitting here. They could be, they move up. They're sitting like this, all right? And it's your husband and wife on the show. And I go to the husband like that, right? Well, tell me about it. And he's useless. And the wife goes...
Get on.
Tell him. It's always the wife.
She does that.
Oh, she does that. She's the wife. She's the wife. We got the twins now who are married to each other. Are you telepathic as well?
We're not married to each other.
I didn't say you were married to... I mean, I didn't mean... I meant... No. Anita, that was... I know I did. Well, don't start on me. I did say it, but I didn't mean you were married to... I meant metaphorically about those two on the front nudging each other. It wasn't you two were married to each other. But you are telepathic, aren't you?
We have had telepathic experiences.
Such as?
Well, when my sister was in labour, we didn't realise that she was in labour, and I was getting stomach cramps. And she had the baby 6 months ago. When she was in Australia, I came up with insect bites all over my leg. It was mid-December, Christmas time. Obviously,
in England?
In England. I was in England, she was in Australia. And I wondered what were these insect bites all over my legs. Huge insect bites all over my legs. And she phoned up to say Happy Christmas, obviously, from Australia. And she said, yeah, I'm having a good time, but I've got all these mosquito bites all over my legs. When she was in Spain.
That's not telepathic, that's coincidence.
Well, it's either too many coincidences. It's either a very big coincidence, constantly, or it's telepathic.
Is it telepathic? Are you two telepathic?
No, not at all. I don't think there's any such thing as telepathic. It's all just coincidence. Yeah. Yeah, because like if you was to say something at the same time, my friends would say, "Oh, it's that twin thing," and I said, "No,
is that what thing?
That twin thing."
Yeah.
Yeah, but I said, "No, it's just coincidence." Because if you know someone so well, you just sort of know what they're gonna, what they're thinking, and so you say.
It's like a married couple who've been together for a long time. They can kind of second guess each other. They know what they're going to say.
But what do you say when it's one side of the world to the other side of the world?
Just pure coincidence. It's just looking.
What do you say when you have a feeling that something's happened to your sister, and you don't know that something's happened to your sister? You just feel bad, and then you go and when I was a little girl, I felt really ill. I felt really unwell, and I went to the teacher crying because I was so unhappy, and she said, I know about your sister, don't cry. And I didn't know what she was talking about. And my sister had her fingers crushed in the school iron gate. I didn't know that had gone on. I was just playing in the playground. So it's, how did I have that? Where did that come from? Why did I know?
I don't know, but I wouldn't really know that because we ain't really been apart from each other that long, so I haven't experienced anything like that. But anything like telepathy, whatever.
Telepathy. Telepathy. That's a new one. Telepathy.
Yeah, but anyway, I don't think there's any such thing because it's just, I don't know, I just don't believe in it. I don't believe in it.
No such thing, Lou. Stella? Go on.
I had like you, Stella's labour. When Stella's baby was born, my labour ceased. When I had a very bad accident when I was young, every blood transfusion I had, Stella passed out.
See, how does that happen?
So,
if it's nothing to do with a connection, and if it's just a coincidence, how does it happen all the time? I mean, we'd like someone to explain it to us.
Explain it to.
I think it's the same with any brother and sister. You know, I don't think it's a matter of twins. I think it's just a case of that there's a bond there. I think it's a bit unhealthy.
I don't know any brothers and sisters it's happened to. I've only known twins.
I did with my sister.
Well, you went through labour with your sister.
Well, not labour, but I mean...
That's what they're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Stella went through Mary's labour. He said, well, I was the same with my sister.
No, but I felt the same. Although we were sort of 12 months apart, I still had the same feelings, if you like, when she was ill and all this type of thing. So I don't,
yeah, when you knew
twins,
she was ill. Yeah, but it's
like married couples,
No, but I could know when she...
They'd be married, like my auntie and uncle, they were married like 47 years, and he took ill, and she knew. How did she know he was down the pit? You know, and she went running home. It was because, you know, it's nothing between... No, I'm not saying it's not
she's saying it's
telepathy.
it's
I'm saying
people who are close.
Closeness that you have, not because you're twins. It's because...
Oh, look, she said she can speak this time.
I was in Cyprus on holiday. I went to Cyprus 6 weeks on holiday. We were about 16, 17. And suddenly I felt really ill. I felt there's something wrong. Something's happened back home. I had this really weird feeling. I couldn't explain it. And my aunt said, well, let's phone England. And when they phoned, apparently they were going to Margate and they crashed in a lamppost. And they
me and Claire had it. Like, Claire took ill on the Saturday. And I took her to hospital.
When there's something wrong with her.
I took her to hospital and they said, oh, we've got to take her appendix out. And I was like, oh, no. Like, you know, I was really worried about having this operation. Then an hour later, I went, oh, it's not appendix. Send her home. A week to the day, I was rushed in, appendicitis, emergency operation about to burst. Now, that's not because we're twins. That is nothing, that to me is just a wicked coincidence.
Okay, explain this.
I mean, they've all been labouring here. They're not the only people who've been in labour. We've had Michael John, Liberty's, haven't we, in labour, looking after Gemma and Samantha. I couldn't remember. Let's see what they've done. Come on, Sam. Gemma. 12. This is 12. You look good. Feel good. See? You can sit down on either side there for me, because you've both got radio mics on, so you can talk to me. Sam, I got it right. Do you feel good?
Yeah.
Are you happy? Tell me about what you feel about it.
I feel older.
Is that good?
Sure. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, definitely more sophisticated.
Yeah. And Gemma?
I feel older, but still kind of trendy.
Are you happy with the image that you both got?
Yeah.
You feel different to each other?
Definitely. Yeah.
Is that what you... So you'd be both... You're comfortable with that now? You would go out like that, both of you, yeah? Tell me what you did, Mr. Michael John.
Okay, I'm Matt. This is my colleague Jade. Because they both came on looking virtually the same, we've decided to go for completely different looks. So with Sam, we blow-dried her hair straight with a side part, went for a more of a sleek, chic.
Let's have a quick look at Sam, and let's have a look at Sam as she was when she came on the show. Quickly, can we? Oh, yeah, we don't know which one's which, do we? So it doesn't matter. Yeah, got that.
And with Gemma, we've gone for more of a streetwear look, bit trendier, bit funkier. So we've backcombed it, put it into a ponytail, wrapped the ends into a twist, sprayed the ends, and given a little bit of a Mohican in the front fringe.
Brilliant, well done.
Very similar, obviously.
Yeah.
So what we did, Gemma's obviously a working mother, so we put her in sort of funky streetwear, but it's also very practical. The mandarina duck jacket she's wearing actually has got a bag attached at the back, which means it'll give her hands free for her kid. And we liked the clogs, didn't we?
We see the clogs.
Close up on the
fur clogs. Is it fake fur? Of course she says. And Sam?
Sam's wearing a much more sophisticated outfit. It's sort of very easy care. This is the thing that she's sort of requesting, things that she could wear to work and not have to, you know, send off to the dry cleaners every day. So it's a very elegant, fully pleated outfit by a designer called...
Stand up for us again, girls, just while we're talking, so we can see the whole lot, the whole range.
By a designer called Issey Miyake, who specialises in this pleated fabric. You can do anything to it, wash it.
Do you notice you get all the posh clothes you two, all these kind of names they keep spinning out. Relax, gone.
So it's just really try to create two different looks, completely different looks. One very street, very sort of almost clubby sort
and
of
one's
look,
quite sophisticated.
and one much more sophisticated.
Do you resent the fact she's sophisticated?
No, I don't resent it.
That would resent. Would you have rather been sophisticated? Because you're a mom, they've made you practical.
I suppose I would like to dress up because I never do.
Right. Would you not think of that, Mrs. Liberty?
Yeah,
That she's the mum. Why didn't she become more...
Well, she could. She just needs to book in for an appointment and I'll sort her out.
But you chose today, or did she...
Yeah, no, we did. We went for the sort of more practical
You got prejudice against mums. You think mums have got to be practical. Mum could be glamorous like Sam.
In fact, they could swap, because I think they both get into both.
But both same sizes. Do you like being twins, you two?
Yeah.
Even though you actually don't like being the same?
It's not that we don't like it, it's just no matter how hard you try, you always look the same anyway, so it just gets a bit...
However, would you look the same now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it? We can't say that! This is a wicked thing to say. My friends here have spent a huge amount of time and a fortune trying to make these look different. Are they the same? They look the same to you too? They look the same to you?
Yeah. They've got the same features. We can still tell that
we
they're
know they've got the
twins,
same
but-
features, but they've got...
They
You
look the
two-
same.
You
We
two-
don't look alike at all.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Yeah, you do. You do. Oh, yeah. I know you've tried really hard to look different.
Claire's got different hair colour and...
No, but you still look the same. You're absolutely... In spite of the fact that you've been very eloquent about being your own person, being an individual, nevertheless, presumably, there's no problems in your mind about...
Oh, no, I love her. But she does my head in. And the whole situation does your head in.
The whole situation?
I think what it is with me and Kathy is that we're so alike that we don't like it. Because, no, we don't hate each other, but because when we see each other and think, I've got to do something completely different now. And you just, you know, I've got Kathy lives...
I've got to do something completely different now too. I've got to finish on time, and we come to the end of the programme, and we have to stop there, and they're all going, no, because they... Do you know what happens here every morning? It doesn't end now, you know. You toddle off and make a cup of tea, but we don't, because they all want to carry on talking. They want to say, I didn't get to finish, I didn't get to say. We'll be here for another hour or more. Take care of yourselves.
If you'd like to take part in a programme about contacting the dead or another about one-night stands, call now on 0990 100 771. Have you had a one-night stand? Did you regret it? Do you prefer one-night stands to relationships? Do one-night stands help keep your marriage alive? Secondly, have you contacted the dead? Did you consult a clairvoyant or medium? Did it help you cope with a bereavement? Call 2 if you think any such contact is impossible.
A strange case of how Keep Fit can make you unfit on City Hospital this morning. When Louise Stanforth was a teenager, she used to bang her hips against the wall to keep trim.
When you want to have a drink and go to the glasses cupboard, there's the horses. You come in to